and we finally meet King Arthur Pendragon himself. So we find out a little bit about him. Apparently, no holy knight could pull out the sword of the stone, so it's pretty much sticking to the original myth of, King Arthur's sword of stone. However, what happens is, they're wondering, well, how the fuck did this army even get here? What are we going to do about this? We've literally got the sins to work about. So he's saying, alright, Hendrick's saying, alright, Darthus, you deal with the sins, whilst I will deal with Arthur. And he's like, fine, but this shit ain't over yet. And it seems like when you see that he goes to talk to me, oh, sorry, I could only, get your attention by doing this, like that, if I had a flashy entrance like that. And the magician that he seems to be with just clicks the fingers and just makes all of the army disappear. That has to be someone, I'm guessing that has to be Arthur, Arthur has to have Merlin with him. There's no way, because if they're making the sword and the stone stuff, then they have to probably keep to the Merlin stuff as well. Maybe that was because of Merlin that he was able to pull out the sword. Maybe he sold his soul or something to get more power. Maybe because we see when he pulled off the helmet, it's a very young boy, very young through it, and he seems kind of reminds me of a Sinbad thing. It's he won't take no for an answer. He wants to do whatever he can. He's saying that he's willing to lend a hand, whatever there's trouble in the night, because he's there saying oh, I'm a closer friend of the king. I want to see him, but you don't know about the king, eh? And Hendrick's right there saying, what should I do? Should I hit to stay? And I say, oh, magicians are busy healing. So I've got a magician here that can cure any disease, motherfucker. Let me in. And he's like, oh, we appreciate it, but yeah, we've got shit going on. And he could already tell that something's in Hendrick's mind. So he's shown already that he's a good mind reader, that he can get into people's heads, saying oh, we'll lend a hand. So what they're going to do is say, alright, Arthur, you deal with Meliodas for us, and then we'll talk about the king, because we know they cannot right now have another power going against them. If they have two of them going against Meliodas, then they could deal with that, and then they've got still some support left. They still got Helbram left in there, and you see as well what they're pretty much getting ready to take on the sins with. They've got Gilthunder, they've got Gira, they've got Halza, they've got, I'm believing the other one is Jericho, and they're now about to go on and take on Meliodas. Now that's a pretty good squad you got going there, with new generation and old generation going up. I really want to see a rematch with Gilthunder and Meliodas. Although, is Gilthunder going to be stronger? Because we never really saw him go out full out. And not to mention, Meliodas has just got his sword now, and we still haven't seen the full fact of his strength. We know that he can pretty much take on weak ass knights now, so they don't have to really any trouble. Gira at the moment, it's hard to say whether or not Gira will take, because it's interesting with Gira seeing she knows about her father now, so whether or not she's going to rebel or she's going to do anything, that really begs the question, because it seems like her mentality at the moment, it didn't show in this chapter, but it definitely shows that it's not there at the moment. And then another interesting fact about this chapter was that we see Elizabeth arriving in the prison, and how she breaks out is just so ridiculous, as Hawk just comes in smashing an iron door open because he needed a shit. And he just brings the door open and saying, okay, we're into underground dungeon. And with her, she meets her own sister, Margaret. And I really want to know sort of what Margaret really has to say to Elizabeth, and the whole situation with her father, and also as well with their sister as well. I want to see what she, because I'm probably guessing that she's probably going to blame them for that. But overall, this chapter, it has some really interesting stuff. It was mainly just build up, and also as well seeing King Arthur as well. It was pretty cool. But let me know in the comment sections below. I give this one a 6 this week. Has some slow stuff, but some interesting stuff. But that's all for me. I want to thank you much for watching as always. Remember, I'll see you guys next time.